Located on Center Street in Pembroke is the fire department headquarters. On any given day, someone is answering calls, and emergency vehicles and personnel are at the ready.
Pembroke Fire Department actually operates what is called the combination department, which is full-time career personnel along with on-call paid personnel. We operate 4 stations. This is the only station that currently is staffed all around the clock. The others are on an on-call basis.
Every member of the team here at headquarters has to have the skill set to operate everything under this roof. Chief Neenan gives us a tour and explanation of each vehicle and every piece of rescue equipment.
This is a PS ladder. It's a 106-foot ladder. It was purchased with a federal grant. Came in a little bit under $1 million. It's a specialty piece of equipment. Most people think ladders are for height, but more importantly, it's for reach. When we have to get to a building to either ventilate it or possibly effect a rescue, the reach to the building is more important most times than the height, because you don't get to go right up to the building. You have shrubbery, you have parking, you have other obstacles that are in your way. This truck in particular also has a pump. It also carries hose and attack lines. So it can perform many different functions. Everyone in the department needs to be able to drive it, maneuver it, position it, and operate it.
Engine 6 is more often than not the first line of defense out the door when they get a report of a building fire. The enclosed cab seats 6, and like the ladder truck, it's also equipped with a pump. This one can dispense 1,500 gallons of water per minute, and when Engine 6 needs repairs, it can be pretty costly.
We needed an alternator. The original price quoted to me was $7,000. We were able to pick one up for a bargain of $3,600.
So what would be the cost of replacing this truck? Bare bones, no special features? Somewhere in the neighborhood of $600,000. That's over $500,000 for those keeping track at home. Let's not forget, a big part of fire and rescue is the rescue. That includes using the jaws of life, which are located here on the heavy rescue vehicle. And since there are so many lakes and ponds in the Pembroke area, they've got vehicles that can go out on the water, like this inflatable raft. And for when it's icy, like this winter has been, they've got a hovercraft. That's right, a hovercraft, like you'd see in Star Wars or some science fiction movie. Each comes equipped with rescue suits and throw ropes.
Most of our rescues involved animals, whether it's a dog we're rescuing or people that we're rescuing who went out to save their dog who saves itself, and then we have a person in trouble. So a lot of times it either begins or ends with an animal, and occasionally we get both.
If you ever come across this mean-looking piece of equipment, you're probably involved in a forest fire. Used mainly off-road, this four-wheel drive vehicle uses the metal frame in the front to take down trees on its way to the fire. This former ambulance was converted into a mobile air unit, used to refill air and breathing tanks for either dive teams or building fires. Speaking of ambulances, a common misconception is that when people call for an ambulance, they're calling the hospital. They're actually calling here, where they've got 3 units in service.
Out of the 26 career people we have, 24 are paramedics, and the other 2 are EMTs. We have the capability under the paramedic rules and guidelines to defibrillate, to intubate, to administer certain drugs that we're trained on, and to do many other ALS interventions through standing orders and with medical control.
Out back, we take a look at a couple of relics from the department, starting with Engine 5. At 28 years old, it's 3 years beyond its expectancy for usefulness and is dealing with frame and engine damage. The department gets $25,000 annually to maintain all of its vehicles. Engine 5 alone could cost anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 to repair. And then there's the service vehicle. This 2001 former police cruiser has been with the department for the past 7 years, and now the service vehicle is out of service.
I would like to hope in the future the department is able to purchase a pickup truck, hopefully even with a plow, that we can use in replace of this car. You know, this car's 14 years old. It served the town well, and I think we've gotten all we can out of it.
And of course, the biggest relic of all is the building itself.
I wish I had a nickel for every time someone says, well, you have a new fire station. The new fire station was dedicated in 1975. The new fire station is now 40 years old. It does need some work, and the whole town infrastructure, everyone Every department has been putting things off, holding the line. It's time, because this is what's happening. And it's not because we don't care, it's just that we have to make other decisions to spend our money.
At the Pembroke Fire Department, I'm Brian Sullivan for In Depth.